So again, we have a bottle. Bottle has a content. It has something that we can put in it. Okay, so that's our first concern. We can put something in our bottle, some kind of a liquid, orange juice, apple juice, whatever. Secondly, how much liquid is inside the bottle? That's the other one. And the third one, what is the total amount, like capacity of the bottle itself? These are the three things. We have a fourth concern too. That is, so a bottle, what's inside, how much liquid inside, what is the capacity, and the platform we are going to run this program is extremely low in memory. Go, design a class for me. I don't want any functions. I don't want any prototypes, only the class with 3 attributes. And I want to see what you're doing. If I come over there, you see that you have done some define statement, creating some constant stuff, I'm going to kill you. I want one class, 3 arguments that reflects my requirement over there, those 4 things. Okay? Do it. We will come and check. May I have a moment? Yeah, we got to go. We got to, that's, oh, and let me pause. Come over here. So time's up. Let's do it. We want to create a class, so we have class bottle. Now, the class bottle that we have, what's inside? What's inside is a string. We said low in memory, which means I cannot use a character array, because character array is constant in length. To have an array with different sizes, dynamic memory allocation, therefore I'm going to have character pointer, say content. That's number 1. How much liquid inside? I don't know. It could vary, so I'm going to put float. M value or volume. How much, what is the capacity? I could use float. Some person in the previous class and some person over here stated a nice thing, saying that usually when they make a bottle, it's an exact amount of thing, like 250 cc's. So they don't have, so it's a good idea to make that as an integer. So I'm going to put over here int m capacity. Could have made it a float too. Size is the same, won't make any difference. There you go. I have it. That's my class. Okay? Low in memory. Low in memory is number 2. I made the pointer. If I wasn't low in memory, I would put 5,000 characters for the name, say the heck with it. Yes? Can we use a short int? Short int? Sure, you could. That's 2 bytes. That'll do. Yeah. You could use a short int for capacity, but you wouldn't. Just a second. No, no, no. Now, the question that you asked is OOP244. So now I have one that is 1 character, right? So we don't know what is the value. Then I have a 4 character over here. And if you put a 2 character over here, it's going to be a lithy. First of all, when you are creating something like this, that's a pointer that is 4 bytes, right? This is a value thing that is 4 bytes, correct? And this is an integer that is 4 bytes, correct? Now, I'm going to explain it. If you understand, fine. If you don't, just forget about it. Okay? For some design reasons, each variable is doomed to sit in an address that is coefficient of its size in memory. So if I'm putting an integer, the address of an integer is always divisible by 4. If it's a short integer, it's always 2. If it's a double, it's always coefficient of 8. Therefore, if you put over here a short integer, you have 4, 4, and 2, correct? If you want to make an array of bottles, the next one has to be at a location that 2 and 4 sits in a coefficient of 4. It can't be done. Therefore, it fills the rest with garbage. So it actually that the size of your class will still be 12. Yeah. And you have 2 unused bytes. So that short integer won't help you. Sorry. Okay, just letting you know. Because of alignment in memory. All right, you can try it. Change that to a 2. Do a size of for bottle. You'll see it's got to say 12. Then make that a character. It's still 12. Remove it, it becomes 8. To make sure that it's done. So, sorry. But it doesn't matter. This is OOP345. You don't need to know. Anyways, now, by default, my bottles are empty and have a capacity of 250 cc's. Write the code for it. Which means I want this to happen. I want to say when I say bottle B, I want that B to have no name, volume of 0, and capacity of 250. Write the code for it. What are you writing? What kind of a constructor? A default constructor, or we call it a no argument constructor. Do it. 2 minutes for this. Let's make it 4. The heck with it. We are coming around. If you're done, let me know. Yeah, I can. Whoa! Windows. Give me a second. Let me just... It doesn't get smaller than this. All right. So now we want to do a default constructor. So I'm going to put a default constructor. I don't want to do it outside because it's too messy. I have to write scope resolution, so I'm just going to do it inside. I'm going to say bottle, no argument constructor. Many of you did initialization. So you did M content, and you set it to null PTR. Thank you. If you do that, you're showing off that you have a knowledge of understanding what initialization is. Not necessary, though. I never said initialize anything, and there is no need for it. If you do it, thank you. I love it. If you're not, doesn't matter. This would suffice. So this is one way of doing it. If you did this, M content, and M volume set to 0, and M capacity set to 250. That's perfect. Some may have done this, which is OK too. M content set to new character 1, and then say M content 0 is set to null. That is fine too, either this one or that one. So in here, I have a safe empty state. At line 10, I'm assuming I have a safe empty state. At line 7, I'm assuming it's a string of one character that has nothing in it. Potatoes, potatoes. They're both acceptable. Only one person did this, attempted to do that halfway through. OK? So fine, this is fine too. Because I didn't mention what empty means, it's open to interpretation. OK? So either this, or this. and either. Okay? So it's either this one or this one, and neither. The rest has to stay. Yes?
Which is best practice?
Whichever you like. There is no best practice over here. All right? This consumes more memory, but hey, how many empty bottles we're going to have? Because, yeah, you have one extra character consumed over here, 1 byte. Okay? Which is not, yeah, anyways. But this one doesn't. All right. Are we okay with this? Now, next one. A bottle may be created as follows. Receiving type of content. Receiving type of content. The amount of liquid. Optional capacity, if not provided, 250 cc's. Also, if the amount of liquid exceeds the capacity, reset it to capacity silently. This is what I need. And for this, I'll give you 5 minutes. Remember, you have dynamic memory allocation here, people. So essentially, I want this to happen. Either this or this. So C is milk, 150 cc's in a 250 cc bottle. This one, you know what it is. D is orange juice, 200 cc in a 400 cc bottle. So I'm recording, yes. If it says paused over here, it doesn't, but it doesn't. So, okay. So again, it's a constructor. So I'm going to go bottle. All those who wrote character, pointer, oh, that name, that sound. Okay. Character, pointer, content I'm writing, okay? And then float volume I have in here, and then I have int capacity, okay? All those people who wrote it like this, you did this wrong. There is a golden rule of anything that is passed by pointer or referenced must be scrutinized to see, must be checked to see if it should be constant or not. Anything that is passed by pointer or reference, you should always put it under microscope. Am I changing this? If the answer is yes, leave it as is. If not, immediately change it to a constant. Yes? Somebody had a question? No? No. So in here it has to be a constant. To be honest, I do it the other way. I do it constant and then change it afterwards if not needed. That's always safest. Because if you have a constant and it won't work, the compiler will not compile. But if you don't put the constant, the compiler will compile and you may have a bug. And that's the worst thing. The best thing is to get a compiler error and do it right. The worst one is not to get a compiler error, run it, give it to the customer, and 7 years later they come back with a bug. Okay? Yes?
So you're saying always write the const.
Always write the const. If it doesn't work, make it normal. So, yeah. Now what I need to do over here is to actually write the stuff. So I need to see how much memory I need. So M content is set to new character strlen of content plus 1 because of the null termination. Make sure you copy, people. str copy, not assignment. All those people who wrote this, M content is set to content. Shame on you. This is an array. You cannot use assignment. It has to be a copy constructor. str copy into M content, the content that is coming over here. Now I'm going to check. Oh, we can set the capacity too. So capacity, M capacity set to capacity. Then after that, let's check if volume is greater than capacity, then, why did I put that? I don't know. If volume is greater than capacity, then M volume is set to capacity. Otherwise, M volume is set to volume. That is the kindergarten version of writing this. M volume is set to volume being greater than capacity. Capacity or volume. This is the kindergarten version of it, so I'll put it after. And put this in a comment. Are we okay? Yes. Oh, and the default value of 250. Thank you. And the default value of 250. Are we okay with this? Are we okay 1? Are we okay 2? Okay. So that's the constructor. Now next one. Let's collapse this. We don't want it. And collapse this one. All right. Make sure a bottle does not leak memory. Make sure a bottle does not leak memory when leaving a scope. Go. And that means we need a destructor. So bottle. And in that one, I'm going to say delete M content. And that is done. That guarantees that when it leaves a scope, then, all right. Add to the liquid volume of a bottle using plus equal operator and return the overflow, if any. What does it mean? It means, so the volume of mine is float. So whatever your volume is, that's the type. So I'm going to put over here float, overflow. Then I'm going to say overflow is set to C plus equal 50. In this case, C will have 200 cc's and overflow is 0. Because 50 plus 100 is 200. It's less than 250. There is no overflow. OK? If I say overflow is set to D plus equal 250, then D will have 400 cc's and overflow is 50. Overload that operator. And I'll give you 5 minutes. So, again, if we have the option, we make it. If we have the option, we make it a member. So if I want to make it a member, I'm going to say, OK, it returns a float. So I'm going to have float over here. Operator plus equal. At left side, I have the bottle. That is fine. At right side, I have another float number. Float, that is value that is coming in. Now, I'm going to say M volume will be set to, will be added to value. OK? And I'm going to have a float overflow set to 0. Now I'm going to say if the volume inside is greater than capacity, then overflow will be M volume minus capacity, and M volume will be capacity. And then return the overflow. Are we OK with this? Right? And because it is changing the volume of the bottle, I am not going to make it a constant because the left side value will change. All right? Next one. I want to pour or empty 2 bottles into a third one. Okay? Or no, pouring 1 bottle so add the content of 1 bottle into another, and returning the overflow into a third bottle. Now, if the content of the bottles are not the same, nothing happens. And the third bottle will be empty. Out at the content ready to another, return the overflow into the third bottle, if any. So essentially, which means I can do this. Bottle E, milk 50, and bottle F, milk 100, and say 150. Now I can say D is set to D. This is a difficult one, people. For this, I'm going to give you the rest of the class and at home. Okay, it's not an easy thing. I'll tell you why. So it's got to be D set to C plus equal E. In this case, C is 200 cc's. If these two don't happen, okay? We are assuming that these didn't happen. Okay? So this is happening exactly after that. So C is 200 cc's. Let's comment these. And D is empty. Okay? That's one. Next one. D is set to C plus equal F. Because already C is 200, adding 100 more will go 50 overflow, right? So C is 250. cc's, and D is 50 cc's. Okay? Now, the things that don't start, you won't be able to do it. Okay. You have to overload 2 operators for this. Operator number 1 is plus equal. Yes. Is that a question? Okay. Two operators. Operator number 1 is plus equal. At right side, it receives a bottle, and by itself, it's a bottle. Okay? The right one is constant. It won't change. The left one is not constant. But it will not, and it returns a bottle. But that bottle is a new thing. Therefore, it is not a reference. You have to create that bottle based on this. So create a bottle, and then you have to set its values accordingly. That's number 1. But before that, you have to do the assignment operator overload, which overrides the value of left one with the right one. You have to delete it and do it whatever. Okay? And finally, let me just add something over here and give you 10 seconds to do it. A bottle cannot be copied. How do you do that? Do it right now. So first we are doing this. A bottle cannot be copied. You cannot copy a bottle into another one. It's forbidden. Actually, we can't do that. We can't do that. Yes. So a bottle can be copied. Do that. So first we do this. I'll give you 5 minutes for that, and the rest are going to happen at home. So let's do a copy constructor, everyone. Quick. Let's do a copy constructor for the bottle. And let me pause. So first we're going to do a copy constructor for bottle. I'll give you 3 minutes for that. Are we till 1:30 or 1:25? So I'll do it myself. Yes. Yes.
Is it okay? I return the float and then overload the bottom function with the float overflow function. And
You have dynamic memory allocation here. So this is fine. But first you have to make sure that the flavor are the same.
okay,
So you have to do a steer and compare between the two.
flavors are same only.
If they're not the same, you just, and the overflow over here is what? Overflow is not a float, it's another bottle.
Okay.
So you have to create a default bottle over here. So before that, you have to do the assignment. And your assignment, oh my God, you have lots of stuff to do. Deleting, stuff like that. You have dynamic memory allocation. Okay, wait. Okay, I'm going to do the copy constructor for you. Okay? I'm going to do the copy constructor for you. Attention. A bottle can be copied. Again, all copy constructors, they have the exact same signature. Remember that. All copy constructors, they have the exact same signature. Bottle, same name of the thing, of the object, const, bottle, reference, whatever I'm copying from. Now remember, that's universal. If I ask a copy constructor, that's what you create. Change the bottle with the name of the class. That's universal. If dynamic memory allocation is happening, then you have to copy everything accordingly, exactly like you have done in this one. So everything that is done over here will be done over there too. The difference is that you don't need to check for the capacity. So mcontent is equal strlen of copy.mcontent. Okay? So you do that one. Then you str copy into the mcontent the copies mcontent. The capacity you will set to the capacity of that one, of CP, and the volume you do not check to see if it's valid or not, because you're copying another object. If that object exists, it means it's validated. You don't need to worry about it. And if it's empty, who cares? Right? So you go over here, M volume. There is one catch over here. And the catch depends on the logic you selected here. If the logic you selected over here was like this, you're done. There is no problem. If the logic you selected was to create a null pointer here, then for copy constructor, you have to be careful. The copying should only happen if CP is not null. So in here, you have to say if. So in here, you have to first say mContent is set to null pointer. Then say if CP's M capacity, sorry, not M capacity, M content. And if the M content of the copied object is not null, then do this. Otherwise, no copying is supposed to happen. Now, that's a correct copy constructor. Remember, the assignment operator is exactly like this, but the difference is that you have to first deallocate the left one, the current object. Pardon me?
Why is it M volume equal?
Give me line number. Oh, M volume is CP_M volume. That's my bad. Thank you. So remember, first, because we have done this, we have to do the assignment operator. So that's exactly like copy constructor. The only difference is that because the bottle in an assignment operator already exists, you have to delete it first before doing anything. And that's the end of the lab today. Let me stop the recording.